Hey everyone, Corey from Aquarium Co-op. Today, the full meal deal again. My entire fish room, starting outside because it's not raining for once, and wait for it, I don't hear an airplane either, which, you know, if you're a subscriber to the channel, you know that's like a running joke. There's always a plane going when I shoot outside, but so far, just starting out here, we've got the water hyacinth. These I brought in from my store, but I'm using them in my totes. The totes aren't necessarily going yet. We've got a few little goldfish in here. Obviously, you see we've got a bucket filter running. But the water hyacinths are pushing forward. They're making babies. And that's, if you guys have never grown water hyacinth, that's what they do. Is this small one here is its baby. And if you wanted to make it into two plants, you just pinch it off. If I can do that with one hand, and now you have two plants. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing there. These eventually will bloom a bunch. I'll probably show you guys that. Over here, we've got some koi that are basically need to go in for sale at the store. Water's green at this point, but just need to set up some more totes and bring them over. That's all I need to do. And then over here, finally, we've got the totes. I still haven't found much time to work on them. I'm going to very soon, though, because it's just starting to warm up. And the good news is I put some easy green in here, and we've got two new shoots, like on each of the water hyacinth. I guess this one only has one new one. But start getting the cover ready for the fish. And at this point, we're at 60 degrees. So I might be able to put out like Florida flagfish and some really cool water stuff. But as it warms up over the day, we'll do that. And lastly, I figure let's start outside all the way. I've got the koi over here, which, look for it sometime in the future, but I'll have the koi show coming out because I got to take these guys and enter them in the koi show. And you can see them there. That's that Matsuba, and we're going to build a bigger pond. We're going to make it so you guys can see it better as well. This is not optimal for viewing on camera, but yeah, let's take a look over here, see if we can spot anything in this last pond over here. Which I should get this set up somewhere too, but there's some rainbow shiners in here, but I don't know if we're gonna get a chance to see any because it's so overgrown in here. Yeah, not looking like it. So, all right, let's go inside and we'll get started. So I thought I'd show you what the actual fish room looks like. This is from the door looking in, right? And so you can see there's rows and rows of aquariums. Pretty much all around. I just counted last night. I think I already kind of forgot, but I think there's 52 aquariums, and that's just in this room. So, and it was about 2,700 gallons in the fish, in the building at the moment. But I did some remodeling, and you can see here I took out a lot of the cover, so you can see a lot of the orange laser corydoras. You can see quite a few of them at this point, and there's a bristlenose feeding on a green bean back there. You're going to see green beans in a lot of the tanks. And that's just because I fed green beans this morning. So, yeah. So, orange lasers doing well. They all get scared when I walk up. But you can see there's quite a herd of these little guys. Let's see if we can... They all like to hide behind the wood. And there's just a ton of them. Down low here, we've got goldfish and the koi. I'm down to 2 koi. I had 3 that I'm competing to try and outgrow koi.com owner. But one jumped out, and so I lowered the water level a bit more, and but you can see there's the one there, and then the one with the heart on the side of its face. You can see there's a heart on it, that black heart. And so definitely I'm putting some serious size on these ones. I haven't seen the one at koi.com in probably a week or two, but I mean, his is in a big pond, but I feel like I'm putting size. I'm really putting food to these. They're getting chunky for sure. If we go by weight, I know I'll win, but we're going to go by length, so. In this aquarium, I have got the best guppies in the world. These are, they call them red mosaic, dragon, Dumbo, or elephant ear guppies. And these are the fry. They're growing up. Still no color on them, though, unfortunately. And these are females, by the way, what you're looking at. The male is that smaller guy right in the back there, but these big females are what I really love. And so yeah, they're still doing well. We've got the black shrimp, black rose shrimp from Flip Aquatics. And those are all Malaysian trumpet snails. They're eating a green bean currently. So there's one of the black rose shrimp. There's another green bean covered in Malaysian trumpet snails. And I watched, there's some shrimp back here. I don't know if you guys, yeah, you can see some shrimp underneath the log too. So I'm not sure how many shrimp I currently have because I don't get to see them that often. But hopefully they'll keep reproducing. I'm in the competition, so to speak. There's another one right back there. But I'm mostly focusing on the guppies in here, and you know, I don't really want to win the competition. I just want to participate because participating is fun. Over here we've got just some fancy goldfish. There's also a Betta that lives in that cave. They are currently getting along just fine. And then there's plecos in here as well. This is a koi Betta, by the way, a koi placat. But there's some plecos in there. I don't know where they're hiding out at the moment, but there are, oh, there's a Panak pleco hiding in the back. You can see its fin, and there's some royal plecos in there as well. Over here, we've got just plant storage, basically. There's lots of Cryptocoryne, that type of thing, and some of the cherry shrimp that I haven't cut out and sold to store yet. You can see they're having babies. So those are all babies that were born in this tank. And you can see quite a bit in the back. And so that's always, I always like to watch babies, no matter what it is. Up top here we've got the Liberty Mollies. I know I missed them in the last one, you guys were wanting to see them, so they're still doing decent up in this 40-gallon. Now this entire wall, long term, I intend to break down. And I think I'm going to replace it with a bunch of, well not a bunch, but like 425 gallons. Because I just really don't like this top wall here, or top row of tanks, because I can't really get to them. And so yeah, we're going to redo it and that type of thing. So it's going to be big changes going through there. So up here we've got my, what do you call them? Rummy nose guppies, or koi guppies. And you know, still haven't done anything. That one's skinny. I'm going to put a lot of meds through these guys now that I've got a second group. I'll show you that in a little bit. Down here we've got the Aquarium Coop sign. You can buy it online. But we've got the blue star endlers here. Going to be quite a decent group. What's unique about this tank compared to my other tanks? There's no filter. All we run is plants and an air stone. So if if I look back here, there's an air stone, and that's all there is. And a deep sand bed. It's only about 3 inches thick. But you can see the different layers, right? Like boom and then boom. So you can definitely see there's some differences there. Minimal algae, really. You know, there's a little bit of algae right there, and a little bit on the leaves. But really, for a natural tank, it's going pretty good. Up top here, we've got the tiger endlers, and there's some algae on the glass, so I apologize for that. But these guys doing pretty good, pushing forward. You know, lots of babies go hide out in the moss, and this is just normal Java moss. A lot of you guys ask me what type of mosses these are. Just Java moss, that's all it is. In here, still got 2 Bettas. They're just doing their Betta thing. Over here, last time you guys noticed that we actually had babies in here. I didn't notice it, but we had some in the bottom left corner here. I don't see any today, and I'm sure these danios snack on them the minute they come out of that moss. So in the long term, I mean, that's not a baby, is it? Nope. I mean to move all these guys out and just use some of these pairs and spawn them, because that'll be fun. Up top, we kind of have just a catch-all tank with some random fry and a Betta and a lot of algae. Over here, we've got black neon tetras, kind of just overstocked from the store. There's 1 Betta living in this tank, doesn't like the camera, with a bunch of floating, you know, Salvinia. And then down here, this is the new Rummy nose / koi guppies, and I think they just are wicked cool, so I had to bring them home. And so I intend to spawn them and do their thing. Down low, we've got a Panda oranda, and mostly I just put it in here to clean, and it's been doing that. That used to all be algae. It ate it and went to the bathroom and cleaned it up for me. Over here, we've got the albino king cobra guppies, and so you can see the snakeskin pattern there. I probably need to add a little bit of hardness into this water. Let's see, down here we've got the fireball platies, or teacup platies.
with some red shrimp, and they're eating a green bean as well. Over here you can see the blue shrimp, blue velvets. They're eating on a green bean, and you can see some of the rice fish in here as well. And the plant people ask me about all the time, like, what's this plant? It is a dwarf aquarium lily. We sell them online. We go around. Over here we've got turtles. So we've got the mini musk turtles. And we've got their babies as well. You know, don't forget about those. Here's the group of clown loaches. We're kind of growing out and getting ready to go in the big 800-gallon tank. And the fish with them are waru cichlids. And so those are going to look pretty cool when they grow up. But for now, just growing loaches. And let me feed these guys. They're pretty fun to watch eat, and I like to watch it. So I'm going to grab some food. And we can go right over here to my fridge and grab some of the Aquarium Co-op pellet mix. This is the bigger pellet. I like to feed clown loaches floating foods, and it's just because I like to watch them eat this way. They're like little koi to me, even though they get kind of big. But let me drop this food in here. It's like they've never eaten, even though it's the third time today. I've been feeding them a lot, but we keeping them hot so they grow faster. Try to get a different angle. There's not as much glare. There's a lot of glare today because it's sunny. Yeah, we keep this tank at 85, and that's part of it. I gotta warm up the 800-gallon a little bit and cool this tank down a little bit because I'm not gonna run at 85 long term, and I don't want to shock them. So, but yeah, this is my favorite scene, and I can't wait to watch this unfold with hundreds of these guys every day in the 800-gallon in the other room. See if they'll let me get closer without freaking out. Alright, well, let's let them eat. We'll move on. These guys, ever since I put in this big plant, they like to hide out in the back. These are the Mollies, the Sailfin Mollies. And they like to hide back there except for when I'm feeding. And yeah, so it's kind of a tank that's not very fun to look at. But, you know, doing its thing. There's a super red bristlenose back there that I bred. Down low here, we've got the Pseudotropheus celosi. That's the blue and black striped guy, and the yellow ones. That's turning into a male there. And then you've got the Tropheus dubosii, which are these guys. They're losing their spots and getting their bands, which they're supposed to. And there was a holding female, but I think she swallowed in here, so that means I really need to separate them out. And if I'm going to breed them, set up a setup or start pulling fry. This is a 40 breeder, got some plants going on, but they've done their growing out. They've grown out now, they're ready to breed. Now I just need to separate them out. Down here we have the cinnamon juliochromis, or the albinos as I call them. And that's what these guys are, juliochromis. And then there's also a group of catfish in here, the lucipinus. And there's about a group of like 10 or 12 of each of them in here. I need to set up, well, I want to set up a bigger tank with much more rock work, or at least put in a lot more rock work in here. One of those two things is going to happen pretty soon, I think. Up top, we have the red delta guppies. These are looking pretty good. These are some pretty big females at this point. You can see compared to the males. So those guys are looking good. And then we also have a ton of snails, which is fine by me, because you'll see why in a moment. And then we've also got all of the plecos in here. These are the leopard frog plecos. And there's, I want to say 12 or 13 of them in here at this point. There's one in the piece of wood there. The more you look around, the more you start seeing. You can see one, well, he went underneath the coconut. He was there. You can see there's one under that piece of wood back there. They're not out and about too often, but that's okay. I'm a patient man waiting for them to breed. If we round the corner, you can see the new addition, my new little Maboo puffer. And that's why I don't mind the snails. He has eaten all the snails that were in here. Doesn't have a name yet. Already ate some cocktail shrimp and stuff today, so he's not that hungry. But we're going to put a bunch of med serum, make sure he's super duper clean, no tapeworms, that type of thing. And then we'll really start putting some size on him. I don't know what aquarium he's going to go in. Probably not the 800 though, I do know that. Over here we have the trout goodeids, one of my favorite fish. These might go outside year round. I'm really hoping to play with some of these outside. And also known as illidens furcidens. We've got fry in here, but they're not gonna produce that much more fry in this tank until I put more cover in or upgrade their tank size. So I thought, let's start diversifying a little bit. Over here we've got the 100-gallon aquarium. We've got Cyprichromis, a Lake Tanganyika cichlid, and then these fish here that have the high fins are sunset variatus. And you can see that we've been breeding both in this tank. There's some plants that have been struggling. I'll give it some attention one of these days. But let me find that female with just a giant mouthful right here, right in front of us. Giant mouthful of babies. You know, she'll be ready to spit those any day now. And then you can see the fry of the, oop, I've been zooming in, I apologize. You can see the fry of the platies. You know, they're giving birth in here. Those are another one I want to do outside because they can go relatively cool water. And so, yeah, I'm enjoying this tank. Even though plants aren't exactly booming, I enjoy what it does. Down here, this is kind of the crypt garden I started. Not a whole lot going on, just crypts, and I want to get some more circulation in here and fertilize it a little more often. That's what I need to do, but it's converting. They're converting well. They're not done converting yet. You can still see some of those yellow leaves around, but a lot of the leaves all those crinkly leaves are fully converted, so that's good. You can also see some super reds in here, bristlenose, hanging out down low. So if I turn around, we've got some more guppies and shrimp. You can see, and snails are eating on green beans again. And you can see the shrimp kind of littered around the bottom and up on the moss here. And this strain of guppies, I forget what they even call them now, but I want to say they're the platinum half moon mosaics, but they don't look very half moon, so I would just say like a delta tailed version. In this tank we've got the purple haze guppies and a lot of genes in here, because you can see this gene, which is kind of a blue, and then you can see this gene, which is more of a like clearish white. So I don't know about this strain yet either. Down low we've got just kind of a holding tank with some rummy nose tetras in this 20, and there's a betta that lives in there and some plants. And then I've still got in this tank some of the golden guppies, golden tuxedo guppies, and some black mollies. They're starting to produce some fry now. So yeah, just kind of doing their thing. And then up here, everyone's favorite, the turtles! Look at the turtles, baby turtles. What's not to love about those? And then we've got another one right down here showing off. We'll focus on it, there we go. It's in the back. And then we've got another one right over here, swimming. And then we've got a couple up top. Right up top there. Once I took out all the plants and stuff, so I took out all the cover, because people were like, they really want to bask. I think they just like to hide, actually. When I took out all the plants, then they took to the wood because it's the only thing, but most of the time they're hanging out just like this guy and not so much above the water. So, you know, we'll see, but they haven't been eating green beans. The adults will. They ate other fish food this morning, the pleco bites, or yeah, bug bites. So then we've got these bluegrass guppies just doing their thing, and we've got the little corydoras hastatus as well in here, hiding in the back. Really should spawn those one of these days. Taco Union. Down low, we've got the Heteranoria formosa, the dwarf live bear, and yes, that is a Nubius anapetite suction cup to the wall. Not a whole lot going on in that tank. Over here we've got the Japanese blue guppies, as they're called, or was sold to me as. They've got a lot of color for just being blue, but they do look nice. I like this strain quite a bit. Some versions I like more than others. I like them with more of the snakeskin pattern to them. Let's see, did I show off these aquariums yet? No, yet. So this is just a neon tetra holding tank. You can kind of see that's all we're doing in there, really. Over here, lots of green beans because we've got lots of fish and shrimp in here, and plecos as well. So the water's actually a little murky because I fed them really heavy this morning. And but they're getting down to it, chowing down on green beans. You kind of just walk the whole way here, they're all chowing. So water changes will fix that with the auto water change. Over here, we've got the the Avatar tank with the school of not clown loaches, but tiger barbs, which I kind of want to put with the clown loaches. But they are still schooling tightly, which is amazing. And I got a little bit of green water. I need to get a UV sterilizer going to tame that a little bit. Over here, we've got the blue silverado endler. You can see some females and the male right there. And you can start seeing some fry coming out of the weeds here. And then back down over there, there's some more males. Of course, I won't focus on it. But as you start looking up in the weeds, you start seeing the fry. And this plant right here, one of my absolute favorites. It is Pogostem installatus octopus. We sell it on the website. We sell tons of it. It sells out very often. And this is me not trimming it at all, but it just really will fill in a tank and create lots of nooks and crannies. Over here, we've got some black Moscow guppies. Still no babies out of these guys yet. Been waiting for a little bit. I would imagine pretty soon it's going to happen. There's enough cover, and I think any day we will see some. Don't forget, hashtag FishFam. In this tank over here, we have the Ervini cichlid. So they're related to the buffalo head cichlid, and they're going to get bright blue lips eventually. You kind of see they're almost a little goby-like, but been feeding them well. They're obviously been growing up in this little 20-gallon. Soon it'll be time to find new homes / set up a tank for them. Over here, I've got the black lace metal guppies. That male's having a hard time carrying his tail, which that always makes me a little sad. Then I've got some fry in here. Where's Mom at? I don't know where Mom is at the moment. Hope we didn't lose her or something. I don't see Mom though, but lots of assassin snails and shrimp in here. There's another super red bristlenose that I bred. Kind of sprinkle those around. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if we lost Mom somehow. She jumped when I was cleaning yesterday? I don't know. That's weird. Down low here, we've got just a pair of Panda Mollies. And, well, not Panda, like marigold Panda. And then we've got a crib and some Weitzmanni cories. Kind of just a tank that's not neglected, but not doing a whole lot with this tank. Over here we got the platinum rice fish. I think they're ready to go out on my next day that I have dedicated to basically filming. I'll put those outside and I think they'll do pretty well. And they're going to look amazing out in the sunlight. Over here, it's got some baby goldfish that we grew out that will be going to the store pretty soon. Just nice little healthy Ryukins. Over here we've got like a Spanish dancer guppy trio. So you got the boy and a couple of girls here. Yeah, real basic. Not a whole lot going in here, just a Betta and some neon tetras. The Betta swims away, of course. Dumbo Betta down low. Just kind of keeping the cycle going, that's all they're really doing. Over here, you can see the Dovii cichlid. Pretty aggressive. I've got rabbit snails with him that's kind of eating some of the algae. Not well enough because there's still algae there, but you know, his fins look good. He's a big eater. Still real scared of me and the camera though. So that's going to take some time, but once they get confident, they will just start biting everything, including me. Down here, we've got the Delta Guppies as well as the Dwarf Claro Bristlenose Plecos. You can see some babies right on the side there, behind that snail. Those are the babies we bred out in this tank, and the adults are, you know, in the caves. So you can see them hanging out. There's a bunch of adults in here. And the plant up above there, that's one of my oldest videos ever, basically making pleco caves and stuff, and that is Bucephalandra right there. And then over there, you guys watched us make that pleco cave. You can see one of the Dwarf Claro plecos is using it. Up here, we're just holding the orange rice fish. These are to go out in one of the ponds as well. I think these are going to look super duper cool. And then down low, we've got some Celestial Pearl Danios and bio balls. The bio balls are there purely to cycle for the 800-gallon tank. Let's see, over here we've got some Cryptocoryne lateralis still. That's what that is. Kind of one of my cares fish. And there's some babies in here still, but I'm gonna nurse this tank. There's a baby. And this is a difficult fish. I'm struggling to really get numbers up. Like, I'm maintaining them, but not getting more, and that's frustrating for me. In here, there's some mouth-brooding bettas. You know, usually they're hanging out underneath the sponge and that algae. But might put those outside somewhere as well. Kind of take a turn. That tank's sitting empty. Don't know what I'm going to do. Probably sell it off. And then we hit the 800-gallon. So not done yet by any means. I let one fish live in here, and that's my veil-tail Ryukin. And you know, it's hard to get reference size. I got to get way back to. If I have someone standing next to it, you can tell how big this tank is, but. It's pretty big. I mean, you can watch that fish swimming, and it's still got quite a ways to go before it hits the end. And I just really love watching fish swim like front to back, because it's 4 feet front to back, and then you can just do laps for days and days and days. And yeah, the water's cloudy, because we're cycling the tank. But 800 gallons to one goldfish, clearly overstocked, and there is some filtration going. But I got to work on finishing the plumbing. That's what I haven't done, is finish plumbing the sump up above, and then I got to finish plumbing the canister filter for the pond. Well, it's not for a pond, but it is for a pond. We're not putting it on a pond. I got to finish plumbing that. And then more turtles as always. We've got the diamondback terrapin turtle here, just basking, loving life. Hypo bumblebee red-eared slider, basking, also loving life. And yeah, then we'll go to the last couple of tanks here in the office. You can kind of see right here. That's where all the magic happens. You can see I've got my calendar up, music, artwork, baby turtle eggs. That's what happens over here. I think the two kind of orangey pink ones are not viable and the rest are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 12 more to hatch. Unfortunately, like yesterday or the day before, I had this piece of artwork up here, and right after the live stream it came crashing down and shattered to a million pieces. Luckily my award didn't come down, but that doesn't look very good there. But that's the award I got for 40 under 40, nominated by Pet Age magazine. So I kind of just keep that there. You can see my temperatures and humidity in here. That's what I run at. And then, yeah, so down low, got just my mixed fancy guppy tank. Got some algae issues. I put in some, what do you want to call it? Mono shrimp, that's what I was looking for, in there to take care of the algae. You can see them working right now. You can see them, going, oh, we'll eat that algae. Let me get to it. And so, yeah, they're all working on it. And after a while, they'll get on top of it. And then, they're just now starting to produce some babies, which is nice. You can see that baby going around in there. So hopefully this will get populated and I'll really enjoy having a lot of guppies. Well, I know I'll enjoy having a lot of guppies, but I can't wait for that to happen. Got more shirts up on the shirt wall. You can see Solid Gold, Invertebrates by Majinx, Rachel Leary, Mario Joey, or King of DIY, my old shirt, Aqua Pro. You can see my other old shirt, or my new shirt, or whatever, Aquarium Co-op, Steamfod Aquatics, KG Tropicals, Aquarium Co-op again, and Sergeant Tank. So check out all those channels. I got a new one to add to it. Today, Rachel Leary was here at my fish room, and I got an Aqua Girls shirt, so I'm going to put it up on the wall. I think that's pretty cool. And my last tank, I think, to show off is the neon yellow shrimp tank. You can see lots of babies happening. And obviously they're loving the green bean as well. They're working on that. You can see them from the behind working on it. And you can see them up in the moss as well. And this moss is also just Java moss. It's just been grown and not touched. This tank, so both these tanks now, I've actually had one water change. I finally just said, hey, I'll change water out of, I want to. And so they now have one water change after 3 or 4 months or whatever it is. And you can see here I'm just using a Stingray on a 20-gallon tank, minimal filtration, and the moss itself is very happy. If I kind of zoom in on this moss, you can see the bubbles, so it's purling. I'm trying to get rid of the glare here. But the moss itself is really happy because it's not having to compete with any other plants, and it's the right balance of nutrients to light. So it's really loving it. There's not much algae at all. A little bit on the front glass, a little bit on the side glass, but growing healthy moss is not the easiest to do. I usually get a lot of algae. So, if you can see here that from my door outward, it's just a brick wall of aquarium out there. Some other pieces of art. We've got this one right here. These are all Ian Fuller prints on canvas. We've got a glass cat, and then we've got a pleco as well. And yeah, a few little more pieces of art and stuff like that sprinkled around, like this one. Love that corydora. But yeah, that's the full meal deal, and I'm really hoping to make some big changes here soon. And I know I keep saying that, but the 800 gallons, stuff like that, got to get that done, and that's going to happen real soon. And that'll be fun. Once I start moving clown loops, when I start moving fish around, it gets a lot easier. Right now, it's like, well, if I want to take that down, where do they go? I don't really have a spot for them to go. So, yeah. But once it calms down, I get that done, get this beast done, it's going to be a good time. So, all right, that's the full meal deal. All my fish. Is that all my fish? All my fish. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next one. Hope to see you in the live streams. And if you didn't know already, check out that podcast. I'm putting a link down below. The podcast is where it's at. There's content only for the podcast now. Some pretty fun stuff, but you won't know unless you listen to the podcast. So check it out. We'll see you later.